If you are part of the pharma industry, your ERP needs are going to be uniquely different. So, which are the top 10 pharma ERP systems in 2024? That's what we are going to discuss in this video. So, let's dive in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Gupta. I am principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP and digital transformation consulting firm. We help our clients with digital transformation strategy, enterprise technology selection and implementation, as well as change management. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be top 10 pharma ERP systems in 2024. Before we look at the list, let's align our expectations. Overall, what is pharma for us? So we consider every single company that is going to be part of pharma ecosystem, whether you are looking at any of those pharmaceutical companies or biotech companies or any of the cannabis nutraceuticals, or you are looking at CROs and contract manufacturing companies that might be serving pharma industry. All of them are going to be part of this list. When you look at different business models, each company may have very different business models. Sometimes they might have just one of this business model, or they might have multiple business models. So we consider all of those as part of this list. The criteria that we utilize to compile this list is going to be, okay, if you have a product, if they are winning a lot more in the pharma space, they typically get much higher rating overall on this list. The acquisition strategy, if a company is acquiring a specific capability and that they are going to merge with the ERP system, if that is pharma related, then they are going to rank higher overall on this list. We look at everything: the reviews, ecosystem, the win rate, the technology strategy, investors, the roadmap. If all of that is going to be aligned with pharma centric capabilities, that's what we consider in compiling this list. When you look at some of the capabilities that you are looking at overall from the pharma perspective, the way these solutions are designed, the focused solutions in general are going to have far deeper operational capabilities, far deeper quality and compliance capabilities. The generic solutions are not going to have those capabilities. They are going to be slightly deeper overall in terms of their support for the global consolidation, global processes, the core ERP layers in supporting many different business models that the smaller solutions might not be able to support. So some of those capabilities that you are going to find in the core solutions are going to be things such as your NDC codes, or if you require the support for serial as well as lot numbers as part of the same product, the smaller solutions might have either one lot number or serial number. They might not be able to support both of them together. If you are going to have requirement of multiple of them, then they might not be able to support that. If you have the packaging serial number that also need to go as part of your product, that's where you run into challenges. And if these capabilities are not part of the same data model, if you are going to use any sort of add-ons for these capabilities, you might run into issues. Then you have DSCSE compliance, and that itself is very involved, embedded transactionally, the way the transactions need to be processed and reported and captured. These are very nuanced capabilities. They are going to be available only in pharma centric ERP systems. So now let's look at the list. BlueLink ERP is a great solution for smaller companies, and this is going to be really the startup segment. So if you are using QuickBooks, you are going to get far better value in using BlueLink ERP, because you are going to get a lot more as part of the package that you are going to get with any other siloed solutions such as your QuickBooks Zero or any other commerce centric capabilities that you are going to utilize. BlueLink combines a lot of these capabilities as part of their suite, whether you are a pharmacy and you look at e-commerce capabilities or POS capabilities, they can do all of that as part of the suite. You don't have to worry about the integration. As long as you are going to use the same product, then you can get real value out of your BlueLink ERP. Some of the strengths that they have is the last mile capabilities are probably one of the deepest that you are going to find with any of the pharma centric solution. The DSCSA compliance expertise, they are going to provide for deeper expertise in the DSCSA compliance that in general you will have to hire a consulting firm and you have to pay them. Here, all of your workflows are going to be pre-baked, pre-configured, tailored to pharma-centric processes. But then you are also pigeonholing yourself in pharma-centric processes. So let's say either you have diverse business model or you have expectation of diverse business model because of whatever reason. Maybe you are going to acquire any of the capabilities, or maybe you are part of the private equity portfolio. So obviously you are going to be limited to a very specific business model. But if you are a pure play distributor, then this could be a great product for your use. In this particular space, when you look at similar products, they are probably going to be file based. BlueLink ERP is Microsoft SQL Server based, which is a huge plus overall with the reliability of the transaction, especially in the pharma space. You definitely need that. The weaknesses that you are going to have is it's not really meant for the larger companies. So if you are going to be larger than your $10 million revenue, then it's probably not the best fit just because of the limited focus of the solution. It's going to have limited ecosystem, as well as it's not private equity funded or funded by any other bigger corporate companies. So funding is going to be a concern as well. So that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is SAP S/4HANA. Last year also we had SAP S/4HANA at this particular spot. Now, SAP S/4HANA as a solution is really good when you are going to use for very large publicly traded pharma companies, especially when you are going to use this primarily as the corporate financial ledger. And then you are going to use some of the other solution at the subsidiary level. That's when SAP S/4HANA really shines. Now, the strengths that you're going to have with SAP S/4HANA is you are going to have superior financial control, support for diversified business model, as well as integration with some of the best of breed options, the marketplace that they are going to have. From the SAP perspective, if you look at their portfolio, some of the commerce products, for example, let's say if you look at Hybris is meant for very regulated industries, especially in the pharma space. If you are commerce heavy overall, if you are in that retail distribution centric verticals, then you would require those capabilities. So that's where SAP has a lot of capabilities in those areas. The weaknesses that you are going to find with SAP S/4HANA, the last mile capabilities that you are going to find with focus solutions such as your BlueLink ERP, those are not going to be there. For those, either you need to use some sort of add-ons or the VAR provided add-on for the pharma companies. Typically, these resellers are going to flavor the SAP S/4HANA solution for a specific industry. So you are using very thick IP on top of the core solution. Sometimes that could be a risk depending upon the quality of the solution. So even though SAP S/4HANA could be a great solution, but if the IP is not as well developed, you might have a very buggy product and the experience may not be as good. The other limitations with SAP S/4HANA are going to be very similar to your over bloated financial control that might not be relevant for smaller companies. And SAP S/4HANA product is not really meant for SMB companies. So that's number 9. Now, number 8 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. Last year also we had Oracle Cloud ERP. When you look at the penetration of Oracle Cloud ERP, it has slightly more penetration in the pharma space just because of their history with the JD Edwards product, and those capabilities are Oracle Cloud ERP as well. So they do slightly better in the pharma space in general. The strengths that you are going to have with Oracle Cloud ERP, you are going to have all of those global ERP capabilities that you are going to require. Let's say if you are a publicly traded or audit heavy organization, that's where Oracle Cloud ERP is really strong. The other advantage that you have with the Oracle Cloud ERP product is it's very well adopted product overall from the consulting perspective, ecosystem globally in many countries. So if you have a lot of countries that you need to support, and if you're looking for talent in specific countries, sometimes the focus solutions might struggle with that. But with this, you are probably going to find that. The weakness you have with Oracle Cloud ERP, when you look at those last mile capabilities for DSCSA compliance, etc., that's when it's not going to be as complete. So you are looking at longer implementation time, more expensive implementation than some of the other focused solution. And for SMB companies, when you look at the financial control, they are probably going to be over bloated. It's going to be harder to learn. So if you are the SMB company, then this might not be the best product for you. But for larger company, when you are looking at either as the corporate financial ledger, or you are looking to consolidate all of those entities in one solution, that's when Oracle Cloud ERP shines. So that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Aptean Process Pro. And last year also we had Aptean Process Pro at this particular spot. Now, when you look at Aptean Process Pro, it targets the process manufacturers. So it's going to have far deeper capabilities for the pharma-centric operations. The other strength that Aptean Process Pro are going to have, number one, this is a private equity owned company. So you have the financial backing of that. And then you are going to get a lot more best of breed integrations that are going to be tailored for those pharma companies. These integrations typically for the smaller companies are going to be cost prohibitive, and so Aptean is able to provide that. That's a huge plus for the smaller companies. The weaknesses are going to be similar to any other focus solution. The interface is slightly more legacy. You are looking at very small ecosystem. The consulting base is going to be very small as well. And then you are looking at the weaker DSCSA compliance. So that's number 7. Now, number 6 on our list is Syspro. Last year also we had Syspro. Syspro targets smaller pharma companies. It is going to have inbuilt support for the formulation, etc. So Syspro does really well in those spaces. One of the advantages that you have with Syspro, especially if you are going to have very complex business models. So for example, let's say if you compare this with Aptean Process Pro, which can only handle the process-centric companies. So now with Syspro, this is going to be slightly more diversified. It can support many different business models, including your process plus discrete. The limitations of Syspro is going to be that it is designed for the single entity operation. So when you are a small pharma company, it might be okay, but for larger companies, it might not be as great fit. Overall, in the Syspro product, the ERP layers are far more detailed compared to other products that are not as great at the ERP capabilities. They might be very strong with the operational capabilities as well as pharma compliance capabilities, but the core ERP layers might not be as detailed, as comprehensive as you are going to find with Syspro. The other weaknesses that we have with Syspro is the weak DSCSA compliance. And right now, if you look at their cloud instance, it's fairly new. It's not as proven, as tested as their on-prem version. So some of the customers might find issues with that. It might take a while to stabilize that. So these are some of the issues that you might need to keep in mind. So that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is ECI DCOM product. Last year we had QAD at this particular spot. ECI DCOM is flavored for very small pharma-centric companies. It is going to have a lot of last mile capabilities that you might not find even in larger solution, just because it's designed for those smaller companies to provide you as much out of the box as much as possible. But then the solution is going to be very focused. It's not going to be as diverse. So when you are going to require support for any other business models, that's where it is going to struggle. So overall strength of ECI DCOM is it is designed for those commerce DTC centric processes. Last mile for pharma are going to be there, but the way their layers are designed, they are slightly more prescriptive as opposed to being flexible that you are going to find with some of the other ERP products. So you are going to run into scalability challenges with ECI DCOM, but it could be a great fit for the smaller pharma companies. The other advantage that you have with ECI DCOM is it is backed by private equity, so which could be a plus, which could be a con as well. The plus, because at least you know that the product is not going to go away anytime soon. It has technology, and they are definitely trying to promote that and are committed to the product. But at the same time, when any product is going to go through the transition of going from your mom and pop to your private equity, typically the support is not going to be as friendly as you would find with mom and pop, just because they are trying to give as much as possible. In the case of private equity, that's not the case. So most customers report issues when anytime there is handshake with respect to private equity. Typically they struggle in getting the support, and then they have to move to some other companies, and typically with that, ECIDcom is not going to have as robust channel as well as ecosystem, so you are going to run into all of those issues. So weaknesses are that it is not designed for the large pharma companies. The overall data model is not as diverse as some of the other products. It is designed for very specific application. So if you are pure play in the pharma space, if you are a very small company, it could be a great product, but not when you are large company, diversified, or you have expectation of diversification in next 3 to 5 years or maybe 10 years. And their core ERP layers are not going to be as detailed, as comprehensive that you are going to find with some of the other solutions. So that's number 5. Now, number 4 on our list is QAD. Last year we had ECIDcom at this particular spot. QAD, when you look at the product, it is designed for those upper mid market as well as the lower enterprise centric companies. The strength for QAD is those supply chain plus ERP capabilities. And that's a very unique combination that not a lot of ERP systems have. So if you are going to be very heavy in the supply chain processes, when you are looking for those combination of SNOP planning plus your TMS plus your WMS plus your core ERP capabilities, all of them part of one system, that's where QAD really shines. QAD is also going to provide a lot more engineering centric capabilities. For example, from the PLM perspective, they have all of that. So that's a very unique combination. A lot of these integrations are extremely involved that you are not going to find with any other solutions. So that's a huge plus, especially for slightly smaller companies that cannot invest as much in the best of breed integration. So those are some of the strengths of QAD. Now, the weaknesses that you are going to find with QAD are going to be very similar to any other focus solution, which is going to be related to your business model. So it is going to support very specific processes. But let's say if you outgrow that, then you might run into challenges. That's where QAD might not be the best fit for the private equity companies or the holding companies when they might be trying to accommodate a lot of different business models, and they are trying to streamline the skill set across their portfolio companies. In those cases, QAD might not be the best fit, but it might be a great fit as the subsidiary solution. So overall, the other limitations that you are going to have with QAD are going to be very similar to any other focus solution, which are going to be your limited ecosystem, limited talent, etc. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. Last year also we had Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, and Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, even though the core product is not going to have as deep capabilities from the pharma perspective, but the marketplace is very well penetrated. You have a lot of companies that have developed capabilities for the pharma centric processes. So you will find a lot of options in this particular channel for those businesses. The strength that you have with Microsoft Dynamics 365 BC is add-ons with deep pharma capabilities. The way the Business Central product model or the data model is designed, it's designed to support all of those capabilities. The way the lot number as well as the serial number, it can accommodate a lot more of those that are going to be really relevant for the pharma companies. Now, if that is not part of the data model with a lot of other solutions, they run into challenges in the pharma space. Microsoft Dynamics 365 BC does have that native support. That's why it is so strong for the pharma centric verticals. Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central also have very deep supply chain as well as ERP centric capabilities for the global companies. It's going to have that. Now, the weaknesses, it's going to require the SCSA add-on. It's not going to have native capabilities. If you try to develop on your own, that might be slightly more expensive. And then you are not going to have native formulation support. For that, you would most likely require add-on, and the manufacturing capabilities are going to be limited as well. So those are some of the limitations, and that's number 3. on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O. Last year also we had it on the same spot. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O, comparing it with Business Central, it is designed for slightly more upper mid-market, lower enterprise companies where it can accommodate a lot more business models as part of the product, especially when you look at it in more from the global collaboration, global synergies, operational synergies, financial synergies that you need to have as part of the same product. That's where Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O really shines. It is also going to have very deep operational capabilities. For example, it can support all of those business models, such as your discrete as well as processes. So when you have very complex pharma company that is going to have a packaging line, as well as they might have the drug line. So for those capabilities, it can support all of those as part of the same product. So the weaknesses that you are going to have with Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O, since this is slightly more generalized product, the compliance, the quality capabilities, the DSCSA support is probably not going to be there. And for that, you are most likely going to require an add-on, or you need to develop it yourself, which again can increase your implementation time. That could get very expensive. And the over bloated financial control that you are going to have for a smaller companies, it might be too overwhelming. So it's not really for very small companies, but if you are going to be in that upper mid market space, it's a great product. So that's number 2. Now, number 1 on our list is Sage X3. Sage X3 is really designed for those upper mid market and large pharma companies. And the strength that you are going to have with Sage X3 is when you are going to be publicly traded, when you require very deep audit-centric compliance capabilities, whether you are going to be in cannabis space or you are going to be in pharma biotech space, all of those, Sage X3 is really designed for that. It has enterprise-grade security for the most part for pharma companies. That is going to be a factor in general for those processes. Now, it is really designed for process-centric manufacturing, food-centric distribution. So all of those processes are part of that. The ecosystem that Sage X3 has, it has a lot of pharma consultants who have been practicing in this space for a long time. So if you require any sort of validation expertise, they will probably understand Sage X3 product. With other products, they might not be as familiar. So that's a huge plus for Sage X3. The weaknesses that you are looking at from Sage X3 perspective is the whole compliance, the DSCSA, even though it is designed for pharma-centric capabilities, but the last mile capabilities might not be as robust as you are going to find with some of the other solutions, as well as it might be slightly overwhelming for very small pharma companies, as well as when you look at any of the pre-integrated integrations that you are going to find with solutions like DCOM, they might not be available with Sage X3. You need to use a lot of different add-ons, the VAR solutions on top of the core solution. So that's going to be a little bit of limitation for Sage X3. Having said that, Sage X3 is a very strong product for pharma, and that's why it ranks at number 1 on our list. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to include the link of an article that is going to have much deeper analysis. So check that out. This podcast is also available in the audio form as WBS Rocks on Apple, Spotify, and Google. So you might want to check there and subscribe if you like. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you might want to do that if you don't want to miss these videos. We publish them on a weekly basis. Also, if you have not checked our digital transformation report for 2024, you are going to find all of these lists and much deeper analysis. So we are going to include the link of that as well. So check that out. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.